After weeks of speculation, the Tyler Shough contract saga is officially over. The Saints got a deal done with their rookie quarterback. We'll talk about all that right here on the Straight Up Saints podcast.
You're listening to the Straight Up Saints podcast.
What is up, Who Dat Nation? Welcome inside another edition of the Straight Up Saints podcast. I'm your host, Chris Voglu, and as always, the Straight Up Saints podcast is brought to you by Scott Vicknair Injury Lawyers. You've been injured in any kind of accident, car, truck, 18-wheeler, hurt offshore. Scott Vicknair handles it all. You give him a call at 504-500-1111 for a free consultation. They'll always fight for the win. So after, like I mentioned, days, weeks of speculation, the Saints have finally, I don't want to say fold, but did what they had to do when it came to Tyler Shough's contract negotiation. So let's go back to why this all became a thing. Jaden Higgins, former Iowa State wide receiver, gets drafted by the Texans in the second round, and they go give him a 4-year, $11.7 million rookie deal, which is standard. What wasn't standard was fully guaranteeing the deal. In fact, he was the first franchise history for the Texans, a day 2 pick, to get a fully guaranteed contract. So they give him a fully guaranteed deal. And naturally, second rounders, who, by the way, in recent trends, and not even recent, the last couple of years, second round picks take the longest to get signed. Now there's more incentive to delay those negotiations because the precedent has been set. A second rounder's been, received a fully guaranteed deal. Obviously, agents want the same for their clients. So for the Saints, they had to figure theirs out with Tyler Shough. And as they got closer, and over the last couple of days, we've seen a couple fully guaranteed deals. I would say look at Luther Burden for the Bears. And then we've seen some where it wasn't fully guaranteed, but it was close. And for New Orleans, after going over and figuring it out, it gets reported today that they've reached an agreement with Tyler Shough where he'll get a fully guaranteed $10.795 million contract. So a little under $11 million, fully guaranteed deal for the 40th overall pick. And I know some people probably will be a little frustrated that the Saints may have caved to his demands. The way I look at it, all that matters for the Saints this year is figuring out if they may have a talented young quarterback on their team. And the only way you start to figure that out is if you get this quarterback battle underway. And the only way you get that quarterback battle underway is if you get this handled out in terms of financials. So, sure, do you have to give in a little bit more guaranteed money? Yes, but other teams are already setting the precedent. And I can understand from the Saints standpoint of not wanting to do the same, but I don't know if a couple $1 million here and there being fully guaranteed would be worth it for the Saints to argue over when it could be a detriment to your quarterback battle and could be a detriment to your 2025 season. So by doing this, yes, you lose the negotiation, but now it's not a discussion. The only thing us Saints fans can really talk about as we get closer to training camp is who's going to win that QB1 battle between Tyler Shough and Spencer Rattler. And like I said, that is all that matters for the New Orleans Saints because the Saints are entering a rebuild, as we all know. And yeah, I still think there's some productive players on this team. I expect good years from Chris Olave. I expect another good year from guys like Alvin. Obviously, Eric McCoy is a stud. You expect those guys to produce, but what will dictate whether the Saints are a competitive team or a team that is picking number 1 or number 2 in next year's draft is whether or not they get decent quarterback play. Now, spotlight's on Tyler Shough, and it's not because of the contract. So the way I look at it, I'm glad this thing is over with. I don't think it's one of those harsh negotiations. It was kind of heading there anyway. I think once Higgins got that deal, a lot of teams probably knew, man, it just takes 1 or 2 more to cave, and then the floodgates open. And in this case for the Saints, the floodgates kind of opened this week when other players were getting close to, if not fully guaranteed deals. So, like I said, it's a win for Shough, obviously, his first win before he enters training camp. And now we got to just hope that the Saints actually get good quarterback play over the next couple of weeks, whether it is in practice, whether it is joint practice, of course, if it's the preseason. So we're going to see. It's going to get pretty interesting. I think finally, we've gone through this lull. I'd say this is one of the quietest off seasons the Saints have ever had. I say that as a good thing. The Saints usually have made headlines for the wrong reasons. That has not been the case this offseason. So a little bit of a lull in terms of quietness. Now we're heading into training camp. You know the situation with your quarterbacks. You know the contract situations. And truthfully, the way I look at it now, with Shough's contract being fully guaranteed, I feel like it's even more incentive now for this guy to start, besides the fact that he is an older rookie, besides the fact that you just drafted him with the 40th overall pick. You're giving him $11 million fully guaranteed over the next couple of years. You probably want to see what he does at quarterback this year before you decide, hey, do we have to go dip back in to the quarterback pool next year, or are we okay with what we have in Tyler Shough? So I think it's kind of a little bit more incentive for him to start. But obviously for the Saints, it's just figuring this out in a ever-changing league when it comes to negotiations and pushing towards training camp. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Are you okay with the Saints giving out a fully guaranteed contract to Shough? Are you indifferent about it? Are you for it? Obviously, voice your opinion in the comments, and we'll get back to you. As always, guys, make sure to subscribe to Boot Crew Media for more, and stay tuned for more from the Straight Up Saints podcast, the destination for the Who Dat Nation.